everyone, welcome to the second episode of my knitting podcast. I'm Polly and I'm a knitter based in Tokyo, Japan, although I'm originally from the UK. So today I have a few things that I have work in progress to show you, although to be honest with you, I haven't had much time to knit recently. I just feel like, I don't know, work's been very busy recently. I've just finished last week sort of a bigger project, so I feel like it might, start to calm down, but yeah, I've just got like lots of end of year like Christmas parties and all that going on, so I haven't had a lot of time to knit recently, so I don't have a lot to show, but in anticipation of the end of year holidays, I have a few yarn acquisitions, stuff that I'm hoping to knit over the winter break. So yeah, I figured I would just kind of show you what I have in progress at the moment, and then just a few things that I bought recently, and I thought it might be nice to just talk about some of the projects that I'm hoping to knit for the winter season. So yeah, I guess let's get on with it. Although before we start, I just really want to say thank you to everyone who watched or liked or commented or subscribed from my last video. That was my first ever YouTube video. I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking like putting yourself out there, but everyone was so kind, so supportive, and I'm just really, it just made me really glad that I've sort of stepped out of my comfort zone to film that, because everyone was so nice. I got some really good suggestions. So in the last episode I was talking about how I had a bit of trouble sort of making socks that fit, and a lot of people gave me some good suggestions, so I'll talk more about that when I get to that specific sock related whip. But it really meant a lot to me that so many people watched it or commented or whatever, so thank you so much. Okay, so first of all, talking of socks, I guess I'll start with my first whip, which is socks. So after my last video, a lot of people, quite a few people mentioned Crazy Sock Lady as sort of a good, she has some good patterns. She has quite a lot of so I've had a look at her, and she does quite a lot of sort of basic sock patterns, and then just really, her patterns are really thorough, and she also makes YouTube videos to go along with patterns. So if you are a beginner or sort of struggling with sock making like me, definitely check her out. I mean, I actually bought the 9-inch circular pattern. I don't know, for some reason I was just feeling like I wanted to do the 9-inch circulars. So I do have a 9-inch circular, but it's not the correct size for socks. So I went out and I bought a new one. This is from Skein. I don't know if you'll be able to see that very well, but it's a bamboo sock needle, and what's nice about it is I think all of Skein's needles are like this, but they swivel freely, so it doesn't get caught or anything like that. The cables don't sort of get out of control, or I mean, it probably wouldn't really happen with a cable that's as small as a 9-inch circular, but yeah, so there's supposed to be, I've seen, recently saw that Tiffany from Typical Bliss, she's bought a few needles from this brand. That's kind of what turned me onto this brand in the first place, because it is actually a Japanese brand. So I love that, I love that it's very local to where I am. I think the bamboo that they use for the wooden needles is grown locally. I just think that's really cool. So I decided to go out and try these out, and I'm actually really enjoying them. I'm a Chaogu metal needle type of girl, but recently, I don't know, I've just been trying to sort of see if I can level up my knitting a little bit, and sometimes I feel that when I use metal needles, it's just, it's very slippery, right? That's kind of the point, but I just feel like maybe if I had a little bit more grip, like the yarn has a little bit more grip on the needle, perhaps sometimes my tension might be a little bit nicer, because sometimes my tension is a little bit loose. So I just wanted to play around with that really. So yeah, I might ask my husband to get one of the bigger interchangeable sets for me for Christmas, so we'll see. But if I do get them, I will do a review because I think it might be quite interesting for people to know about, you know, how I found them compared to, say, my regular ChiaoGoo metal needles. So yeah, I think I will try to do that if I do get them. But yeah, so this is Crazy Sock Lady's 9-inch circular sock pattern. I already have one done actually. I haven't sewn in any of the ends, so there's a lot of ends coming off. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's pretty, I mean, the pattern is, I think it's $2, so it's pretty cheap. And there's nothing extreme going on here, you know, it's just, she describes it herself, I think, as a vanilla sock pattern, so that's just what it is, with a slip stitch heel. I don't know if I might have done a slip stitch heel like right at the beginning. I think when I first started knitting, I did make a few socks, but I didn't really know what I was doing at that point, so they weren't very good. But yeah, so in recent memory, this is my first slip stitch heel. So I'm planning, I would love to sort of do a bit of a survey of sock patterns, like just different designers, different types of socks, different types of heel, and just sort of see which one I like best, and then hopefully, yeah, I can find one that really works well for me. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this sock. Very simple, very easy, there's nothing hard about it. She does in the pattern say to cast on with a long tail cast on, so that's exactly what I did. But I actually have I've got very narrow feet, so I cast on for the smallest size, which I think is 56 stitches. And I'm knitting this on a size 1 needle with just regular fingering weight yarn. And yeah, so with 56 stitches, the long tail cast on was just way too tight on my calves. So I couldn't actually pull it up all the way because it was just too tight around here. So although it really fits well on the actual foot part. But yeah, I guess I probably have like normal sized legs and very narrow feet. So what I probably should have done is just cast on like a normal, like for a medium size at the leg, and then maybe decrease a little bit. But yeah, I'll think about that later. But what I did was I just undid the cast on, and then just bound off with I think it's called Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. It's just the one where you have like a yarn over in between each bind off section. So yeah, now after doing that, they're perfectly fine, they fit great, so that's no problem at all. Yeah, this has been really good. I'm really glad that I have done this pattern. I think probably, I'm sure that I'm going to make it again. Here's my second one that I'm just in the middle of. I'm just about up to the heel, so I will probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, this yarn is really nice. It's sort of, yeah, it's kind of got like little bits of speckles in it, like little black bits, or navy maybe. But I bought this, so it's from a dyer, I think a local Japan-based dyer, and I think it's called Rhodia, I think that's how you say it. But yeah, I think it's just a very small, just one person probably, is what I imagine, because she sells her yarn on Mercari, which is like a sort of a flea market app type selling app thing. I think they have it in America too, but I don't know how popular it is, but it's really popular here. So sometimes I will go on there to buy yarn because my local yarn shop, it's just one of those like big box craft store type places, and they don't really have a lot of choice. I don't usually feel too inspired when I go in there, so sometimes, yeah, if I don't want to go all the way into town to buy more expensive, you know, import yarn, and then I will look on Mercari, because I think there's like a few indie dyers who just sell them through that app, so I've actually picked up quite a few nice colorways off there, and it's just nice. It's very soft, it's knitting up really well. I'll be interested to see how well it lasts. I think it's 20% nylon, 80% superwash fine merino or something like that. yeah, I'll put everything in the description box so that you guys can see. But yeah, very happy with the 9-inch vanilla socks from Crazy Sock Lady. So thank you to everyone who recommended her. So the next pattern that I want to, okay, well my next and only whip. So I've only got these two at the moment, but it is, so it's also covered in little bits of string, but this is the Holly sweater. So this is a pattern by Knitting for Olive. And yeah, as you can see, it's for children. It just has this like holly motif on the yoke. Very simple. Yeah, as soon as so they posted a picture of this very cute baby wearing this sweater on their Instagram. As soon as I saw it, I was just immediately like, I knew I was going to make this pattern just because it looks so amazing. Okay, so the yarn that I'm using for this is it's just some Japanese, like cheap Japanese baby yarn, just something that's like easily washable. I just wanted to, so I'm making this in the 1 year size, and I was thinking about maybe giving it to my friend who had a baby in the summer. So I thought it could be just a nice little Christmas present, and to be honest, I just wanted to make this pattern. Like, I don't have a baby of my own, so I thought maybe they might like it. So yeah, I think in the Knitting for Olive, in that picture, they've obviously used their own yarn, and they've also used mohair, and I think that helps it look a lot nicer. So I'm not actually in love with how this is knitting up. It's a lot, so I think just the yarn choice that I've gone for, it just seems to show everything, like every little increase, every little bit where my tension hasn't been super even, like it just, I don't know, it just shows it up like so much. And I think, I don't know, it just, I'm not quite loving what it looks like. I'm waiting to see, like, I mean, maybe blocking will help. It might just help, and I think it's okay if the sweater doesn't look perfect. Like, it is handmade, so it's okay if you can sort of see the increases, and maybe there's a little, you know, a few little bits of gap or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, it's not as lovely as I was hoping it would be, and I think probably what a part of the reason is that they use mohair in there, so that kind of like smooths over, you know, helps to sort of hide these little bits in the stockinette that are very obvious. So maybe that's the reason why. My colour work is also, it's very tight. I probably should have gone up a needle size, but the pattern didn't say to do that, so I didn't. But I think maybe going forward, if I do ever make a sweater like this again, I think probably I would just do that in the future. I think it'll look better once I have the arms on. So I've just bound off the bottom body, and I've made this exactly to pattern. Apart from the bottom ribbing, I did twisted rib because the neck is very, I don't know, it just feels a bit messy. I wasn't in love with how this rib turned out, so but yeah, you're supposed to, when you knit it, you're supposed to sort of fold it over and then pick up one of the cast on edges and then sew it together as you go to fold down and like the neckline, which I didn't do. That just seems like it was a bit, I don't know, it seemed a bit difficult for me, so I'm just gonna sew it in later. I haven't done that part yet, but the neck does seem also very tight. I do think that would go, I don't know if you can see that very well, I think it will go over the baby's head, no issue, but I know some parents don't usually put their babies in sweaters very much because I think maybe babies don't like it going over their head, or I don't know, but just a bit worried whether the neck is a bit like tight. I mean, like if I'm not stretching it out, it just looks like it's quite small. I don't know. I don't know if I'll give this to my friend. I might do. Maybe I'll just keep it for my own baby in the future. But yeah, kind of reserving judgment on this one until I get the arms on. I think it would look a lot better once the arms are on, and then it looks just, you know, probably like a sweater. But yeah, the yarn itself, it's very, I didn't want to spend a lot because babies at that age are very, I mean, it's a Christmas sweater and it's for a 1-year-old, so it's not going to be worn very long. I didn't think it was worth like putting a lot of, you know, money into this. I expect it will probably be worn like once or twice. That's okay because it is very pretty, but it's just not as pretty as I thought that it would be. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not in love with the colour work, but I do think, yeah, I'm just hoping that once I've finished it, it will look a lot nicer, so we'll see. We'll see about that one. So yeah, that sock and that sweater are the only thing that I have on my needles at the moment. Yeah, I've just been really busy recently, but I do, in preparation, like I said, I've got some yarn acquisitions. So the first one that I picked up is, I've put in a big order to Knitting for Olive because it's, there are a few stores that sell it here, but their stock is not very good at all. So usually there's only like 1 or 2 balls available in like the best colours. So I just ordered from I think are they based in Denmark? I just ordered from their website and they sent it to me and it arrived really quickly. Yeah, it was great. The good thing about living in Japan is the post is really good. So I was watching Rebecca from the Creabea earlier, and she was just complaining about the UK post. Not complaining, but like just saying that it's they're having a bit of trouble getting their post at the moment because there's a lot of strikes. But Japan never have that issue. Everything always arrives really quickly and it's very smooth. But yes, so I've ordered from Knitting for Olive. So what have I ordered? First of all, I've got this. This is their regular merino, and this is in the colorway Dusty Artichoke. Okay, so I am filming this at about, what is it? It's 3 p.m. The sun, it's still light outside, but it's going. The sun's sort of, you know, on its way down. I've got the lights on, so I don't know. The color might not come across very well, but it's a lovely, like, dusty light sea green, maybe. Would you say? So I have 3 balls of this, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to. So my last podcast, I said I just briefly mentioned that I made a hat before. It was Pearl Soho's classic ribbed hat. So I made this for my husband. And I had also made one in the last video too, but this is from, I think maybe like two years ago maybe. I made this for him, but it's just one of those problems that sometimes hat designs have where they're just like really too long and like they end up being pointy, and you've got this like fabric up here, which he doesn't like. I mean, you could fold up the brim more, but I mean, at some point, the brim is just too big, you know, like you can't be folding it up forever. So I guess I could maybe fold it double. I might try that actually, fold it double instead, and then, anyway, but it is also very loose. I think it's probably the wrong size for him. He, weirdly, I measured his head the other day and it's actually about a centimetre smaller than mine. I think he just has a small head. But yeah. So I'm going to make him a hat. I'm hoping to make him a hat, and I'm hoping to make him the Oslo hat. Tried and tested, everyone loves this pattern, so yeah, I won't be doing it with mohair because it's for a man, and I felt like that's, I don't know, I don't think he wanted to have mohair, so, but yeah, there are a few projects on the Ravelry page where they've made it just with this merino from Knitting for Olive, so I'm hoping that the gauge won't be too hard. Yeah, so that's one of my projects for the winter break. So that's one. Another one, so also the main reason for ordering from Knitting for Olive was because I wanted to get myself this yarn combination. So this is Knitting for Olive's heavy merino and Knitting for Olive's soft silk mohair. They are, what's this colour? Navy blue, yeah, both navy blue. So what am I going to make of this? For the longest time, I've had my eye on Petite Knit's Ingrid sweater. I just love, I think it's so pretty. I think it would be really fun because of the stitch patterns. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to making this. I know most people make this and the most common colors tend to be like lighter colors, like beiges or creams or whatever, but I just, for some reason, I can't get out of my head like the image of just this like lovely navy mohair-y Ingrid sweater, so we'll see. It might be a failure, but I think it's going to work. Obviously you won't be able to see the stitch definition as well just because the colour's dark, but I still feel like it would just be really lovely. I do like wearing navy, so I don't have a navy jumper, do I? No, I don't. So it would fill a nice gap in my wardrobe. So yeah, I have 6 balls of the mohair and I think it's 12 of the heavy merino. I haven't done any swatching for this yet. I think that will be, hopefully I'll be able to get that done maybe in the evening, one of the evenings next week, whilst I'm still at work. And then the week after, so next week I'll be at work, and then after that I'm off on holiday. So if I can get the swatch done next week, and then I'll be ready to start basically once I'm on holiday. So this is going to be, I think, my main Christmas knit. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I haven't made a sweater in so long, and yeah, I feel like this is my first sort of, I don't know, like I've been knitting for like quite a while now, but I haven't made a lot of things that I really liked. Well, I have made a few like smaller things, I have, but mostly I sent them away as gifts. So for myself, I really want to, I guess, like from watching all these like knitting podcasts and sort of falling into like the Instagrams, like what people are making on Instagram, I've recently just started to realize how important like yarn choice is. And you know, obviously I'm not going to like go out of my way to spend a fortune on every single one because that's unrealistic, but it is important to sort of think carefully about your yarns and make sure that you're making something that's actually going to fit you, so gauge swatching and really just thinking about like what patterns you would actually wear. So I think in the past I've just sort of seen a pattern that looked pretty and just been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make that, and it's not actually something that the kind of thing that I would normally wear. So I just ended up like in the back of my closet, or it hasn't quite fit right, or I've just been impatient and I didn't knit the sleeves or the body long enough and it's a bit of an awkward size. So yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 like that. Thankfully they were mostly made with just very cheap yarns, some acrylic based yarns, just because I didn't understand about yarns at that point. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. And I guess I took a bit of a break from knitting. I go through phases where I'm really into it, and I've just started again after not knitting very much for probably about 2 years. I've just had other things going on in my life, or just been busy. Yeah, other hobbies, like I'm quite a hobby collector, so I love to do just crafty things in general. So more recently I've been more into sewing, but now that it's winter again, I really feel like this is my time for knitting, and I'm really excited. Excited to find this community as well, and that's a big part of what's giving me this motivation. So anyway, sorry, I'm going on a big old ramble here, but that's just a little bit about my knitting journey so far, I guess. But yeah, so I'm excited to make like a sweater that I'm really sort of consciously thinking about the choices that I'm making, and yeah, I'm going to swatch it properly, make sure it's going to be the right size. Yeah, so very excited about that. Yes, hopefully by the time I do my next recording, I'll have something to show you from either the hat or the jumper, but preferably the jumper. But yeah, so last of all, I just want to show you these like fun sock yarns that I bought. Sorry, they're still in the bag. I'm not going to take them out because I'm going to drop them all over the place, but these are just like, this is a mini skein set, and it is from Coats & Co. They're just 20 grams each. and the combination of superwash merino and nylon. I bought these so that I could do fun colorwork sock patterns. Don't know if you've seen, so there's a designer, I think she's called Stone Knits, and she makes like the cutest colorwork socks. She recently had a book out, I think, and what is it called? I can't remember what it's called, something like colorwork socks or something like that. And this pair of socks have got like flowers, or there's one with like ice creams on it. Just like really fun stuff that I would love to make. But I felt like I needed just a nice range of like colours, but I didn't want to buy a full skein. Also, it's quite hard to find that sort of thing here in Japan. At least I've struggled to find sort of nice solo, like unicolor sock yarns. My local yarn store mostly has like variegated self-striping type, opal type socks yarns, so they're not the most common. So I just found this place on Etsy, and I just put in an order so that I could just have these available. If I ever do want to make a colorwork sock, then it's just there and I just have it, and I can just plan the colors easily. So yeah, excited about that. I don't have any patterns in mind just yet, but I am considering getting that colorwork book. I'll link it down below for anyone who's interested in seeing what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's some really cute designs, so maybe after the new year I might pick one and do that. Yeah, so that's everything that I have to show you. So I thought I would just quickly give you a rundown of the patterns that I'm thinking of making. Let me just pull up my Ravelry queue. Okay, so patterns that I'm thinking of making for the rest of the winter period. So obviously I've got the Oslo hat for my husband and the Ingrid sweater for me. And I'm going to finish off these socks. But so other things that I would love to make is, number one, I really want to, so I saw this pattern the other day and I thought it was so cute. It is Beret number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It just looks, this pattern just looks so, I don't know, stylish, and I don't have a beret, but I think it would be cool to wear one. So yeah, I might have a look around to see if I can find some good yarn for this. But yeah, I would love to make this with mohair, something with mohair, and just have this nice like fluffy, warm, cozy beret. I mean, it's not exactly the warmest type of hat that you can have, but I just think that would be nice for winter. I would love to make one of them. Next up, I recently saw Summer Lee's, and Summer Lee has a lot of really fun, colourful sock patterns, and I've favorited some of her designs in the past, although I haven't made one yet. But I saw today, or recently, that she has released a new sock pattern called Hibernal Socks. Hibernal Socks? I thought those might be really fun. They're quite different to her normal style. There's no color work. They just look really pretty, so I think she's just released this pattern. Next, I would love to make myself some fingerless gloves. I haven't decided on a pattern for this, but my hands are freezing whilst I'm at work. I just feel like I would love, I don't know, just some really cozy fingerless gloves. So I've heard, okay, I've just ordered all this mohair for the Ingrid sweater, right? But I've never actually, I was gonna say, like, I've never actually really knit with mohair, or I guess I did use mohair for the sheep socks, but I've never knit something with mohair and then worn it myself. So I don't know exactly how warm mohair is, but I've heard people say that it is quite a warm combination when you have it with wool. So I'm thinking that could be really nice for fingerless gloves, as long as it's not too irritating. Yeah, I might have a look. So yeah, like I said, I haven't settled on a pattern yet. I know obviously Petite Knit's penny gloves are pretty popular, so that could be one option, or I might just, I don't know, I'm gonna have a look on Ravelry when I get around to that. And I have some really nice sort of golden yellow sock yarn, so I might use that and then try to get a mohair that's a similar sort of colour. Don't know, I haven't decided yet, but that's one of the things that I would love to make. And lastly, I'm really into, for some reason, the idea of like knitted headbands. You know, these like thick chunky ones that were like all the rage, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. For some reason I'm like really into them now. I don't know, I think they just look really cute, so I might try to make one for myself just for like around the house or something. This also I haven't settled on a pattern just yet. Just want something that's really, you know, classic and well like designed and just comes together really nicely so that it looks like something that I might have bought in the shop rather than, well, there's nothing wrong with having something that looks homemade, but just, yeah. Anyway. So those are the things that I'm thinking of making throughout the rest of the winter period. As you can see, there's a lot of accessories. I guess this is going to be just a period where I want to be really warm and cozy. And yeah, well, the main thing really is I think the Ingrid sweater. So very excited for that. And yeah, I'll keep you all informed. Feel free to, someone in the comments asked me if I had an Instagram, and I do. I'll put a link in the description box if you're interested in following me. I don't post, you know, crazy amounts. I do have a full-time job, so like unfortunately knitting is not the only thing I ever do, although I wish it was. But yeah, if I have time, if I'm knitting something, I'll put, you know, post it on there. So feel free to follow me. I would love to get to know more of you. Yeah, let me know what you guys are making for winter. I would love to see some pattern inspiration. If you've made, you know, fingerless gloves that you've really liked, or if you've made fingerless gloves with mohair especially, I would love to know how you found that, whether it's itchy or whether they're too hot or just right. Yeah, let me know. And otherwise, I guess I'll probably see you in the new year. So happy holidays and enjoy the rest of your year. Bye!